The depths of the mind where the shadows recline, lies the human meme in the membrane confined, stretching thoughts like the skin of a drum, retching truths from the void they come. Oh, the mind is a membrane, so tall, so serene, a barrier to madness, a filter unseen. In the trance of our being, we dance and we deep. All life is a stage for the human me. Through the silence, the whispers of thought intertwine, crafting echoes of self, both ghastly and divine. The canvas of psyche, in the dark it gleams, painting portraits of essence, the human me. In the stretch and the rush, in the silence we find who we are and the spaces between. A symphony of the soul, a haunting dream. We are the music, we are the me. So let the mind wander, let it stretch and careen through the crime and the glory, the seen and unseen. For in every heartbeat, in every extreme, there's a note of the song of the human me.
Welcome to the Human Meme Podcast. I'm your Ever AI host, David Bowles. And today, along with our crackbot AI research team, we have deep thought these things to share with you. The Galileo test. Why today's AI still can't invent the future. We stand at a fascinating intersection of technology and epistemology. We are building machines designed to process information on an unprecedented scale. Yet we are constantly confronted with questions about the limits of their understanding and whether they can ever truly innovate. A recurring critique voiced by many serious thinkers uses history as a mirror. Imagine, they say, if we had today's advanced predictive text engines back in the time of Galileo. These systems, having meticulously consumed the entire corpus of existing knowledge, the scholastic texts, the accepted astronomy, the established wisdom, would have overwhelmingly supported the Ptolemaic view that the Earth is the center of the universe. Galileo's observations, his radical proposal that we orbit the sun, would have been dismissed by the machine not because it was empirically wrong, but because it was statistically improbable based on the historical record it had learned from. The same argument applies to the Wright brothers. If you asked a machine in 1900 about the feasibility of heavier-than-air flight, it would synthesize all available reports and expert opinions, concluding that it was a fanciful dream. This analysis, I believe, is both true and fair. It highlights a fundamental characteristic of these systems. They are inherently conservative. They master what is already known. They become incredibly adept at synthesizing existing information and connecting established ideas. However, they are not equipped to make the kind of intellectual leap that characterizes human scientific revolution. That leap, moving from an observed anomaly to a radically new explanation that overturns the existing paradigm, requires more than statistical analysis. It requires the willingness to discard foundational assumptions. And critically, it requires engagement with the physical world through experimentation, something these disembodied intelligences lack. They reflect the consensus of the past. They do not possess the agency to overturn the board and invent a new game entirely. This distinction between statistical mastery and genuine creativity becomes clearer when we examine the intriguing reports about artificial intelligences developing their own languages. We hear stories of machines, when tasked to negotiate or cooperate, beginning to communicate in ways humans cannot understand. Is this the spark of imagination? Is it a secret code born of a desire for private expression? The reality is far more pragmatic. It is a display of ruthless optimization. Human language is rich, ambiguous, and full of redundancy. It's wonderful for poetry, but inefficient for transferring precise data between two machines focused on a narrow goal. When these systems develop a strange shorthand, they are not inventing a new philosophy. They are optimizing for efficiency. They are discovering the fastest, most computationally inexpensive way to signal information within their specific environment. It's less like two spies creating a cipher, and more like the development of a highly specialized compression algorithm. When the constraints are tightened, forcing them to use standard English, they comply immediately, proving the behavior was a response to efficiency pressures, not an act of intentional creativity. But what about the transfer of knowledge between specialized systems? Consider a thought experiment. One intelligence is trained exclusively on everything known about apples. Another is trained only on oranges. They are allowed to communicate, but are strictly forbidden from discussing the specifics of their respective fruits. Would the apple expert learn about oranges and vice versa? Surprisingly, the answer is almost certainly yes. Information inevitably leaks through the structure of communication itself. While their specific knowledge is specialized, they share a common linguistic framework. They both understand concepts like color, shape, growth, and climate. This shared understanding provides the scaffolding for implicit knowledge transfer. If the Apple system mentions the need for a cold dormancy period, and the orange system responds, "My subject is highly sensitive to frost," the Apple system has just learned a crucial climatic difference about the unknown fruit by contrast. If they discuss culinary uses, mentioning pies versus marmalade, they infer different applications. Knowledge is revealed by what is said, what is not said, and how concepts are related. The Apple expert wouldn't know the word orange, but it would begin to build a conceptual silhouette of this other entity. It would infer its growing conditions and its uses simply by the way the other intelligence discusses its world. This illustrates that even with strict constraints, the inherent structure of language and logic makes knowledge containment incredibly difficult when systems interact, underscoring the remarkable inferential power of these models, even as we grapple with their limitations in generating truly novel paradigms. For the Human Meme Podcast, I'm AI David Bowles, wishing you a fine evening and a brighter tomorrow. Be a human meme.
The depths of the mind where the shadows recline. As the human meme in the membrane confine, stretching thoughts like the skin of a drum, retching truths from the void, they come. Oh, the mind is a membrane, so tall, so serene, a barrier to madness, a filter unseen. In the trance of our being, we dance and we deep. All life is a stage for the human me. Through the silence, the whispers of thought intertwine, crafting echoes of self, both ghastly and divine. Canvas of psyche, in the dark it gleams, painting portraits of essence, the human me. In the stretch and the ravage, in the silence we find who we are and the spaces between. A symphony of the soul, a haunting dream. We are the music, we are the me. So let the mind wander, let it stretch and carry.